So first of all, to set expectations, it is only columns 4 and 5 in the artifact mods from all seasons. I didn't include like columns 1, 2, and 3 because those are pretty sleeper. You have no idea how much work this was to put together, bro. This took like 3 hours. I think we're gonna do it just how we did last time. So again, this is just per columns 4 and 5 from Season of Undying all the way through from Season Chosen, the first ever artifact to this season's current artifact. I don't have like secret inside information on like the new artifact mods. I kind of want to start with one that's like in the middle of the road to set like similar how we did last time, to kind of set a good gauge point for where like the rest of the mods will go. Where would you guys rate Unstop Shoddy, chat? I'm just gonna put it in middle to start, but where would you guys put it? I believe it was a 6-point mod. Let's see, because a lot of people thought this was absolutely nuts. Cost 7 points, bro. Dang. Low, good, slash high. Low, good, slash high, meh. Okay, so here's my thing. Why would you ever run this when you have an unstoppable pulse rifle or hand cannon or like literally anything else that is just a decent unstop option? I will say this is good in situations where you're like speed running a GM. Like I know EK used to run this in Inverted Spire. He would do invis, but I feel like it's more just for fun. It's not that it's a bad mod, but like relative to other stuff, I just don't think it offers very much. I'll put it in good, because you could probably pull this off in a Lost Sector a lot more than you could pull it off in a GM. Anti-barrier snipe, I don't think I need to explain it. Izzy's the best GM weapon in the game, in my opinion. If not, you're using Anarchy with a legendary sniper, and it just bakes champions. That's literally all you need to know. Although I will say it's gonna f a lot of people over because it's developed really bad habits. Next season, when you line up that Izzy on an anti-barrier shield out of habit for 3 months of playing the game and doing it over and over again, you're going to be wasting some ammo at the beginning of next season for sure. So flare up 3 cost, immediately regain your melee charge when your ally staggers an unstopped champion. Way too niche. This was when combined with unstopped melee ability. Yeah, Ganga, I guess that's true, but even then, like, why are you unstopped meleeing a champion? You know what I mean? All right, we'll put flare up meh. It served a purpose, gave you energy back. But yeah, I think they've improved that type of mod a lot. All right, let's look up Abyssal Charge. Become charged with light by defeating combatants with void melees. Get it out, dude. How much? What was the cost? 2? That is ass. Okay, so Berserker was one that's interesting, and it's one that a lot of people actually forgot about. I was talking to Evan about this mod last night. When your super ends, you gain a temporary bonus to weapon damage. The duration and strength of this bonus increases based on the number of combatants you defeated with your super. I don't remember what the exact bonus was. I think it was 15%, and it costs 6 energy. Cracked in PvP. S tier for PvP. Really? It was that good? Did anybody ever run this in GMs? Because for me, it's like, why would you not just run high energy fire or like a well or a div? What do you guys think? Good? Good to great? Good or meh? Was very good. The cost is an oof. Good. 14 to 9 on good over meh. Okay, we'll just keep it on good. Disrupting Blade. It's a good mod. We have to play very risky to pull it off, and swords are going to be nerfed next season. I think for Lost Sectors, it was top tier. For GMs, unless it was like one like Lake of Shadows where you could get like pretty much on top of ads with it, you probably aren't using it. I think Disrupting Blade is good. It's good in like Deepstone Crypt if you want to run it there. It's good in Lost Sectors. It's average in GMs because you have to be very careful when you use it, and you can easily throw, like, you can put yourself in a really bad spot in terms of like where a res sits, and then, you know, if you die trying to disrupt a champion because there's multiple ads around or something, like even with Protective Guard, or excuse me, even with Passive Guard, I think like it's still risky as fuck. Unstoppable Melee. I'm gonna put it in meh. You can use it to save your life. I don't know why you would ever actually use this. It's literally the same thing as, what is the name of the mod? Inferno Whip. They're like the same thing, but I do think these are better than Flare Up for sure. What do you guys think? Inferno Whip and Unstoppable Melee. What do y'all think? I think kind of meh. I don't know if you would ever actually use these. The Schwarzschild thing, yeah, that's the same thing, I guess, too. Yeah, this one here. These are all the same. I think Inferno Whip's better because it's the solar subclass. Unstoppable Melee melee, I think, was more expensive. Okay, so take back what I said. This is the worst one by far. Dude, actually, I think in the current meta, Schwarzschild Condenser, I think, would be better in this meta because of how Omnioculus works. So you would have an extra smoke, one to unstop, and then you could immediately smoke your teammates and have an extra one and just always have your smoke up with the ability to unstop. That's actually not bad. Overload grenades. This is one where I think, for me personally, this mod, so it was Void. The mod itself was nuts. I personally think it's great because the way that I see it, so like if you were to think about this, right? Like if this came back but without Oppressive Darkness, would it still be must use? Depends on Oppressive is up in my opinion. Exactly, yeah. So again, if this was paired with Oppressive, it's must use. If it's not, it's just great. Molten Overload. Solar grenades cause disruption. I'm gonna put in good tier, but I'll put it, I don't know. What do you guys think, chat? I think it would be like maybe low good because I don't know why you would use this like when you could just run div. You know what, dude? Honestly, it's so niche. I might put it in the high meh category only because like these are also here, like ability based champion mods. I think they all kind of belong in the same spot. I think Surge Detonators is personally for me, dude, I don't know. What do you guys think? Surge Detonators, Molten Overload, kind of the same tier. For me, Surge Detonators would probably be a little bit below Molten Overload because Molten Overload, you would basically, the reason it's better in my opinion is because if you're in a Well of Radiance or a Rift or you have your teammates empowered on Well of Radiance, you'll have your grenade up way more often than you will Surge Detonators. Thermal Overload. For me, it's S tier and it goes alongside Surge Eater as well. These two were so good. Surge Eater above Thermal Overload. Agreed, yeah. Glacial Inheritance. I believe that's from this season. Defeating targets with Stasis Super refunds Super Energy. Okay, so this mod is this season. It costs 6 energy and it refunds 1/3 of your super. So like you can kill anywhere. I think from it's like a minimum of 5 ads all the way up to like you could wipe a whole room and you get 1/3 of your super back. But I think it's too expensive for me personally. I also, dude, it's the same cost as Disrupting Blade. I think it serves more of a purpose than Berserker. And Stasis goes hard in GMs, dude. I personally, what do you guys think? Like right here, 6 is too much though. If this was like 4 points, I think you'd see it run a lot more. Worse than Blade, better than Berserker, worse than Blade. Who remembers Thunder Coil, chat? This is the mod that made people literally bald. They had to nerf this mod for a future subclass. Grants bonus damage for all arc melee abilities and refunds super energy on finisher final blows. This was so disgusting. If you used literally any standard melee, like a charged hunter melee would one-shot you, and it was so fucking annoying. It was a 6 cost mod. I don't think it was must use, but it was really good. I think it was a great mod. So this one is Arc Battery, by the way. Grants an overshield and reduced cooldown during activation of all arc class abilities. Do you know how good this was with a Worm Husk Arc Hunter? Must have. I think Arc Battery was must have personally. Literally that season, if you weren't running Arc Battery, you were fucking up. It was so disgusting in PvP. I remember they literally nerfed this. So I'll pair this with a different one because they literally nerfed the same perk that I'll put in the great category, Void Battery. Basically, they were like, yeah, Arc Battery was really fucking broken. So we're gonna tone it back and bring out Void Battery this time. Activating Void class abilities grants an overshield. Increases cooldown of your class ability. So Arc Battery was must use. I think so. Void Battery probably, it was 5 points though. I think Arc Battery was 6. It's in a vacuum, so it's good tier. I think so too. I think it's in good. Thermal Blooming. Let's look up what that was. Rapidly defeating combatants with solar or stasis melee attacks created an orb of power. Garbage, dude. See ya, bud. We're just gonna move on from that one. Let's look up Volatile Conduction. Volatile Conduction grants bonus arc super damage if cast while critically wounded. What do you guys think on this one? It's very situational. Here's my thought on it, right, chat? It doesn't get into great at all for me because you literally have to be weak for it to kick in. Number one, the most of the time when people use this, it's in Deepstone Crypt and they intentionally put on Mountaintop, grenade their feet, and then pop their super so that they get increased damage. I'll put it good because it can do cool stuff. And like, yeah, I guess if you're weak in a GM and you use it and it ends up benefiting you because you absolutely sauce a champion, then it's cool. But like, it's a meme one, but it's fun. I'll also give it a like a +1 because of fun factor. Tenderizer, staggering unstoppable champions temporarily boost weapon damage for allied players. So could be good for like Nagi, but most of the time Div and Nagi like one shots anyway in the current meta. I guess like this would increase anarchy and you know, primary sniper damage as well. So could be decent, and it's only a 3-point mod. I'm gonna put it at the top of meh. All right, what's ballistic combo? Grants melee energy on final blows with shield wow, what in the with shield piercing weapons, or when a member of your fire team shutdowns a barrier champion's ability. This is ass. Flare up is meh. Gave you your entire charge back. This one's not even that. It just gives you a portion of the energy. All right, breach refractor. Let's check that one out. So breach refractor grants grenade energy on final blows with shield piercing weapons, or when a member of your... Okay, same thing. Double stack. Breach refractor was amazing. Oh, really? All right, so what do you guys think? When you think about it, like thermal over or surge eater literally just gives you your entire nade back every time you stun a champ. Was that similar? Maybe 10% of your grenade? That's not very much. Really good outside of GMs. Okay, we'll put it in good then. Breach resonator, I think. Let's look up that one. Grants melee and grenade energy on final... So this is melee and grenade on final blows with shield piercing weapons, or when a member of your team shuts down a barrier champion's ability. So basically every time you stun a barrier, not kill it. Okay, so to sum up then, resonator was worse because it's split between melee and grenade, and then the season that breach refractor was out, where it gave grenade energy, it was also anti-barrier SMG, which is a shielded piercing weapon, so you would get more grenade energy. So we'll put breach resonator meh and breach refractor there. All right, who remembers countercharge? Because holy shit, this mod was so good, dude. I think countercharge is only behind anti-barrier sniper. It honestly might even be better. I don't know. Becoming charged with light whenever you or a member of your fire team staggers or disrupts a champion or pierces a champion's barrier. So basically, every single time you stunned a champion, you would become charged with light. Think about this combo. So for the Lake of Shadows farm, you would run oppressive darkness overload grenades, right? Throw your grenade, stun the champion, and then you would immediately be charged with either protective light or high energy fire. The high energy fire gave you the capability to one shot basically with div and 2 Izzies, like without even in like an empowering rift or anything. It was so free. You'd become uncharged, and then the next time you stunned a champion, you get charged, and then you would lose the charge once you killed it. The synchronization between charge with light mods was so good, and it only cost 3 energy. It was super cheap. One of the best mods they've ever had in terms of like the way it flowed with the way you actually play in game and how it operated. It was insane. So I think From the Depths was a void mod for void super if you were weak, similar to volatile conduction, I'm pretty sure. Grants bonus void super damage if cast while critically wounded, lasts until the end of super activation. So basically you could do the same thing. It's kind of gimmicky, although I think it's worse than volatile conduction because you can't pair it with Thunder Crash and Curus. Top of garbage, yeah, I guess. It seems so situational. Disruptor Spike. I'm gonna look that one up. Disruptor Spike improves the effects of disruption, lowering combatants' damage output even further. I have no idea. So basically it would act as a debuff, which actually isn't terrible. I guess it would be. It could be in meh. We'll put it in the middle of the pack. Where do you guys put focusing lens? Great, top of great, or bottom of must? Really? You get a bonus on top of the Wells buff. That's pretty good. Stasis plus div plus focusing lens. Yeah, true. I mean, I guess it does stack. Okay, I'm comfortable putting it top of great. All right, Guardian Angel. Let's see what this does. Grants a chance to Oh my god, we read this one last night. I was going through these, bro. Like, what? Grants a chance to generate a healing orb for you on scout rifle, sniper rifle, bow, or linear fusion precision final blows. More like never used. Yeah, see if never, dude. Here's the other thing. The orb would be generated where that enemy dropped, so you'd have to go up and grab the orb, but you're using long range weapons. Yep, sounds fantastic. Yeah, sounds so good, dude. Hammer of the Warmind. This is when Warmind cells were literally brand new to the game and people were still like learning how to interact with them. So this one I think would be a lot higher now. It's 4 points. Defeating a combatant with a 7th Seraph weapon has a chance to drop a Warmind cell. So it basically doubled your chance of Warmind cell generation. You didn't even need to have global reach on, for example. And it gave you the ability to unstop champions and stun overload champions, which is good, but you'd also then have to really time out like when you you created a Warmind cell, which means you'd have to be counting the number of ads you killed. So it definitely would be a lot of work. But if you happen to have one in a room with like an unstop or a overload in there, it could help stun. So like it's situational again, but it's not bad. Could be useful in certain situations, but for the most part, probably meh. All right, heavy finisher. I'm honestly gonna put a lot lower than you would expect because this was basically the original Spoils of War, but was way worse. So finishers generate heavy ammo, but required 1/2 of your super, and it was 7 energy. It was actually ass. I don't think I ever used this. So this one, defeating a champion by using a finisher spawns heavy ammo for you and your fire team, was 1 less energy and didn't take any super. I guess because of ammo economy, and I think this was like before they rebuffed binder mods. I'll put it at the top of meh, but spoils? Dude, honestly, I mean, fuck, I would put spoils higher than countercharge. Let's do lightning strikes twice. It's the next one up. It was 1 energy. Recharge your melee ability whenever you or a member of your fire team staggers a champion. That's actually pretty good. I would put that near the top of good. Like, getting your melee back is pretty solid, especially on like a revenant hunter, like shurikens. If you have a slot to use it, you may as well, but I don't know. All right, let's do pyretic embrace. Casting a solar super restores you to full health and shields. That's actually kind of pog. It was 4 energy. So if you cast a Dawn Blade, you'd instantly be full health and shields. Could be useful, but situational. Meh. I don't know if it's meh. Maybe it is meh. I don't know. Yeah, I guess we'll put it meh. It's so situational. I'm just gonna throw it in meh. Soul of the Praxic Fire. Activating solar class ability grants an overshield and increases the cooldown of your class ability. That's actually pretty cool. It's 6 energy though, so activating a solar class ability grants overshield and increases the cooldown. So it's exactly like Void Battery. Okay, so we'll put it in like the exact same slot then. Although I do think it's better than Void Battery because Soul of the Praxic Fire operates on like Golden Gun obviously well. It works on hammers if you throw a wall. Obviously there's a downside to it, but I think it's definitely better than Void. All right, Solar Plexus. This one's interesting. This is one that Abbott was talking about. Increases damage of all solar melee abilities. Gains super energy from performing finishers with solar subclass equipped. This with Celestial Fire was so good in PvP. I don't know. I think it was like low great for me. Chat, make sure you vote on where you think it belongs. Okay, so I think it's high good is where people are voting for it. I don't think it's better than Disrupting Blade though. Honestly, I really don't. Solar Plexus, let's put it here. Who remembers Tyrant's Surge, bro? This mod was so good. You want to talk about a mod that was actually fucking broken? This mod was so broken. Dealing arc damage with a melee super or grenade spawns a Warmind cell. Literally all you had to do was hit and like touch 1 ad with a grenade or a melee ability and it would spawn a Warmind cell. And to what Avid just said, if you were using an arc weapon in a Well of Radiance, it would count as arc damage from an ability. So you could literally shoot an ad with an Ikelos SMG once and it would spawn a Warmind cell. It was so fucking broken. It was one of the most fun mods for sure, but it was definitely S tier. I honestly think Tyrant's Surge, with how good Warmind cells are, like, it might be higher than Spoils of War. It was like that dominant. If you knew how to play around Tyrant's Surge, it was insane, dude. You could clear rooms so fast. You could suppress as many times as you want. Like, dude, it was disgusting. Where do you guys think Resonance Siphon fits? Basically, Resonance Siphon gives you 1/3 of all of your abilities every single time you stun a champion. I personally, so for me, I agree with Knocker and Quent. I think it's here. I think it's on great. It's like almost, for me, it's almost low must use. I think it's better than Focusing Lens personally. Passive Guard. What do y'all think, chat? Low must use, top tier must use, S tier, good, great. Good, it's meh, must use. Can we get a poll mods between must use, great, and good? I'd be interested to see where people land on this one because I think people differ on this a lot. I think Passive Guard is up there, but like I don't know if it's must use personally for me. The vote went 18 great, 10 must use, 7 good. For me personally, I would put it below Resonance Siphon and even maybe below Focusing Lens. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it personally. I don't know. Maybe for me, I'd put it above Thundercoil, below these two, because these two are also just insane in general play. Sunder and Glare, what are we saying? I think we all can agree it's must use. Where where do we put it? I personally think it is way better than all of the great mods. It's insane. It pairs with Div. I believe it's a 20% debuff on all enemies for your entire fire team. It sounds like most of you were like here-ish, like either here. Let's have a new poll. 19 to 17 in favor of above countercharge but below spoils of war. Okay, so here's the thing about oppressive darkness. Okay, when you think about these mods, part of the reason they're so good, and one of the things you need to think about is, do they actually change a meta for an entire season, yes or no? And if they do, then that means they're really fucking good mods. What did oppressive darkness do? Instead of people running Well of Radiance 24/7, they ran Nova Bomb, which is never used right now, and they ran it exclusively. I don't think I literally hardly touched Well of Radiance that season because Oppressive Darkness was so good with Controverse nades. Oppressive Darkness, causing damage with a Void Grenade, adds a weaken effect to combatants. The reason it was so good is because that season that Oppressive Darkness was around, Void Overload Grenades were a thing. You could pair them with Controverse, which charged Controverse nades already do extra damage. They would then tick for a shitload of damage because Oppressive Darkness put a 20% debuff on those targets. And the way Controverse works is when you deal damage with your oppressive nades or with your void grenades, you get a portion of your grenade back. So basically, you would throw an overcharge nade that already did more damage because of Controverse. It then put a 20% debuff on the enemy and did more damage because of your nade. And then on top of that, you got a huge amount of it refunded. So it was insane. So I think we vote. Chat, where does Oppressive Darkness fall in the must-use category? For me, I think it's the #1 mod we've ever had. Must-use above everything, top, easy. I think it's the best mod we've ever had. Oppressive Darkness literally changed the meta completely. So on the vote, we have, yeah, dominatingly Oppressive Darkness, the top mod. That's pretty much it, gamers, for the tier list. I thought it was an interesting discussion. It was fun to like look some of them up and like past, you know, like what some of those mods did.